Israel's military campaign in Gaza and its effect on Palestinian civilians has been the focus of international condemnation.
The natural way of providing support through roads is being closed, artificially closed. And starvation is being used as a war arm.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is defiant.
None of these pressures will stop us. Israel's very future, its very survival is at stake.
But amid mounting casualties and starving Gazans, Israel's staunchest supporter, President Joe Biden, is losing patience. Here's what he said in an interview with MSNBC Saturday.
The defense of Israel is still critical, so there's no red line. I'm going to cut off all weapons so they don't have the Iron Dome to protect them. They don't have. But there's red lines that if he crosses, he cannot have 30,000 more Palestinians dead as a consequence of going after. There's other ways to deal.
Biden is increasingly showing his frustration with Netanyahu, including over Israeli policies that slow down overland delivery of much-needed humanitarian aid. The U.S. has joined other countries to airdrop aid, and American troops are heading to the Mediterranean to build a temporary pier off the coast of Gaza to allow aid to arrive by sea from Cyprus. Washington continues to support Israel with military aid, but if Netanyahu goes against U.S. urging and invades Rafah, where more than 1 million Palestinians are sheltering, would Biden withhold sending American weapons to Israel?
We are working through it, and I'm not going to stand at this podium and entertain hypotheticals on it.
Ahead of the U.S. presidential election in November, Biden wants to avoid giving Republicans an opportunity to steal pro-Israel votes. But he also needs to stop progressive Democrats, young voters, and Muslim and Arab Americans from abandoning him because of his support for Israel. So while Biden embraced Netanyahu in the early days following Hamas' October 7 attacks, he's now distancing himself.
So he's kind of performing a political amputation of Bibi.
Biden's actions appear to be driven by both domestic politics and foreign policy goals.
Separate Netanyahu and what Biden considers his toxic war policies from the state of Israel so that he can continue his support of Israel, which is really in his gut, without sacrificing his moral core.
Recently, Israeli War Cabinet member Benny Gantz was received by Democratic lawmakers, Vice President Kamala Harris, and other top U.S. officials, a sign of the administration's support should the popular centrist politician become Israel's next prime minister. But whether Biden's shift on Netanyahu will be enough to appease Americans angry at the president's Gaza policies remains to be seen. Patsy Widakuswara, VOA News, Washington.